I think this is all my doodles. Hey, toodles. It is Tuesday, and it's time for Tuesday and reading in the book The Greatest You. But before we get started, I want to talk about a couple products here. This is the Physician Formula Spotlight Face Primer that I have. It went bad, and it's been irritating my face, so I'm actually going to throw this away. But I did pick up another one out of my face primer drawer, so I'll put that with my empty videos. It's the First Aid Beauty Hello Fab that my husband bought me, surprised me with it, so I will definitely be using this as my face primer now since I had to switch. And I had this pick to use in my next week's makeup tutorial, so next week Shop My Stash, so I'm just going to keep it in there and use it. Okay, so let's get started on this book. Not very many pages to go, just a couple pages to read. Letting go isn't easy. While Garlow has faced more challenges in her life than many of us, we all have some visions of her story in our lives. We all have someone who has done as much wrong that we just can't let go of the anger and remembrance we felt. Resentment we feel. Hey, I probably made your list list of such people even longer with this book and encouragement to look deep into your life and burning bridges and digging up bad seeds. Sorry, but you know why I did it. And it isn't really important that I did identifying this stuff. However, it's very different from motivating on from it, and moving on can be a real challenge, even though it's cynical that you do. If you're like most people, you hold on to this stuff for a simple reason, because it's hard to let go. This person or thing that made you angry, they did something that affected your life in a major way. Maybe it was a good friend gone bad. Maybe it was someone who took something from you. Maybe it was a person who actually tried to hurt your requirements or your standings in your community. When you're faced with something like this, you might move on from a physiology. You end up the friendship. You make sure the person that can't take anything else from you, and you block that person out of your life. But it's a lot harder to move on from your emotions and until you've moved on from your emotions, you haven't moved on at all. What you need is to forgive. Without forgiveness, you can't move away from this pain, but you'll never move on from the pain. But forgiveness can be through, yet is also 100% necessary. You're not going to be able to make big steps forward with your life and become the best version of yourself if you carry around a huge amount of anger and resentment and hold grudges over past hurts. As long as you hold on to the anger, you're letting someone who is no longer a part of your life control the life you're living now. That's the effect of harboring anger and replacement as on you, and affects the harbored anger replacement on you and is very demanding. This can plan out in numbers of ways. Someone betrays your trust, so you just become less trusting. person no longer allows yourself to get closer to people. As a result, you have 4 people in your inner circle, so do the math, because one person betrays your trust at some point in your life. You've taken steps that have made your life smaller. I have a book somewhere up here that I have been writing some stuff in, and I made a list of people that, how can I say that's on my shit list. And it's people, like he's saying, betrayal. It is people that has disappointed me, that I know can do better with their life, but have not done better with their life, and they're still doing the same screw up stuff that they've done all their life. And they're just on my hit list where I can't trust them anymore, and I won't trust them because they constantly lie to me. And so, and there's some that are family members, and there are some that aren't family members. There are some that I had a good friend at one time, and we were really good friends, and then I got married, and she was at my wedding, and then she got married, and it's like, you're supposed to ask your spouse to go wherever you need to go, and I just tell my husband, hey, I'm going to my friend Jana's house, and I'll be back later, or I'm going to the pier, or I'm going to the beach, or wherever I go, I tell him I'm going. Even when he's at work, and I have to go take care of a client, I still text him and say, I'm at such and such house. If I'm not home when you get home, this is where I'm at. And I still let my husband know where I'm at, but I don't ask him if I can go. I just go. Okay. Or maybe you were in a romantic relationship with someone who left you in an awful way, and because of this, you worry communicating yourself to other relationships because you never want to feel that level of pain again. This is just another version of Precious scenario. Some people who did a bad thing to you earlier in life is consulting to do that bad thing to you. He or she affects the way you contact your life and your ability to open yourself up to someone who might love you the way you deserve to be loved. Or maybe a parent was too demanding or too caught up in his or her own stuff to give you the nurturing you needed. Instead, your mom or dad made you feel unwanted. As a result, you avoid having children because you're worried that the model this person set for you is the model you're going to use to present, and you don't want to inflict that on an insert kid in case this forgiven parent continues to have such an effort of your life that it's literally threatening further communications or generations. I could go on and on with examples, but I think the point is clear. As long as you harbored anger and resentment, as long as you keep carrying grudges, the people who did you wrong will keep doing you wrong. It as if they still right for their next to you, causing you all kinds of hurt. You've got to forgive these people in order to move on. And the sooner you do this, the better. When we don't forgive, we make other people pay for the mistakes they didn't make. But forgiveness is hard, right? I'm not denying that. But you're going to work on this right now so it gets easier for you. Let's start here. I think that the reason most of us find it so tough to forgive is that we think forgiveness is a gift you give to someone else. You're being wronged by somebody, so why would you want to forgive him a gift? Give him a gift. But that's not really the case at all. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, because when you forgive, you feel yourself from the controls of others who don't mean the best for you. Forgiveness is taking your power back. They control your past. Don't give them the power to control your future. It's understandable that you might think that forgiveness is the way of letting the other person win, but exactly the opposite is true. When you forgive, you finally tempt over the thing that he or she did to you. You finally let it stop controlling your life. Lots of people think of forgiveness as a sign of weakness, but it is most definitely not that. In fact, it is one of the strongest things you can do, because it is an act of liberation. It's a tool that's going to improve your whole life. So, as getting on, if there is anybody that has done you wrong, like for me, like I said, I have a book and I wrote down people that's on my shit list. Lots. There's a lot, not too many people, but there are some. From past, present, there are people on my shit list, and I wrote it down in a book. Would I forgive these people? I should, but I just don't really want to really forgive them, but I need to. Like Trent says, I do need to forgive these people. So, these people don't know who they are. And I think I'll forgive some, but not all. I just want, like I pray every night, my husband and I pray to God every night that this house turns out to be perfect. We really want to keep the house and the land. I know since my mother-in-law died, it's supposed to be willed to him, but from what my brother-in-law says and what my husband tells me, they can take this house away at any time if there's anything bad going on in this house, which I have to say, my husband's been in a bad mood since Saturday. So yesterday he was in a bad mood too, and it was Monday. Sunday he came home, he was in a bad mood. There's the reason why, and we talked about it, and I don't think he will forgive this person. That, because when you make a promise to somebody, and you promise them, and you solemnly swear to the person that you're not going to do what you said you weren't going to do, and you turn around and you do the opposite and you're doing wrong, it really makes somebody upset. And I am upset with some people about that as well. But I love them to death. Everybody that has done me wrong, I love them to death. I love them with all my heart. But they got to grow up. And they're not going to grow up, then what the hell are you doing being here alive, living the life you're living? I mean, there are people that need to grow up, and I will say I do need a little more growing up to do as well, because I do have a bad temper and a bad attitude, and there are things, my husband wants to go do, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go, and we start fighting, and I get irate, and I start punching the window in the truck, and I get an attitude, and he's like, I'm never taking you anywhere again. Well, he always takes me everywhere. If you're in a relationship, and your relationship's like this, really, really tight, or you're married and you have kids, and you're like, you know what, honey, let's get a babysitter. Let's take a date night. That's what me and my husband were sitting there talking about. Valentine's Day is coming up, and we were talking about Valentine's, and he says, what do you want for Valentine's? I said, I want some Dr. Teal bath salts. I want a piece of makeup from Flower Beauty, your choice, And there was something else. I forgot there was something else I wanted to. I wrote down that. Hang on. Let me see. I wrote it down. Oh, a $25 gift card. And then I said dinner of your choice. He goes, well, you know where we're going for dinner then if I get to choose dinner. And I said, we're going to go to Galveston and go to Joe's Crab Shack. He loves Joe's Crab Shack. He wants the seafood broil steam pot, seafood steam pot. So I was like, okay, we'll go there. I'll find me something good to eat. They have something there. I forget what it was called. I hate seafood, but man, this is seafood. I think it was clam chowder. I don't remember what it was, but my husband got it as an appetizer. And he got me the cheese sticks, and I started dipping the cheese sticks in his stuff, and and there was a lady watching me from the other table, and she come up to the table and she goes, "What is that he's eating?" So he told her what he was eating, and I said, "I'm dipping my cheese sticks in it because that's good." And I ate it, and everything was good, though. It was good. All right, guys. Ending that note.